Okay, so I'm about to get a little serious here, and trigger warning, we'll be talking about suicide. Every 43 seconds, we lose someone to suicide. I created this mental health podcast in hopes that somebody out there that's thinking of taking their life will be impacted enough to stay even on the days that you feel like you can't anymore. And I've personally lost someone I loved to suicide. Today, November 14th, would have been his 20th birthday. Even though it's been 5 years since we lost him, it's like my body remembers around his birthday. It remembers when he passed away. Or one time my therapist telling me, because it was 2 months after he had passed away, and I'm like, why does this still feel so painful? Why does it feel like it happened yesterday? And she said, it takes about 5 years to get over a violent death in the family. This year's 5 years, and it hurts a little less, but the pain will always be there, and that's just grief, man. Like, it comes in a wave. We have to be here for each other and be there for ourselves. Sorry, I just had to go a little dark there for a second, but we're back. We're back, okay. Please enjoy the episode as much as I enjoyed sitting down with one of my best friends, and I hope that this inspires you to sit down with your best friend and document each other's feelings, document each other's lives. We are all one consciousness. We are all one, and our perspective and our lives are each so important to the collective consciousness. And in honor of my Anthony, I present to you my mental health podcast. Hello, welcome to Dysfunctional with Emily Diaz. I have one of my best friends here, Hannah Ibe. She got her master's from Columbia in social work, and she is currently a therapist. If you guys are in Nevada or Utah, the link is below if you want to book her. But yeah, I wanted to introduce myself to the internet, and I was like, okay, I don't think I could do this by myself. So I was like, let me get my best friends on each episode and just have a chat and let the chat know. Well, we're not on live, but let the people know what we're about.
Yeah. Well, happy to be here and happy to help you introduce more about yourself. So, with that being said, Emily, tell us a little bit more about who you are and what made you want to start a mental health podcast.
So I'm Mexican American. I was born and raised in Georgia. My mom is from Jalisco and my dad is from Naucalpan, in El Estado de Mexico. I studied film and psychology at Emory, and I work in the film industry, and I also worked in the music industry, and now I want to create my own content and share my perspectives. And in my journey to rediscover myself and my happiness, I realized that one of my purposes in this life was to help other people that have gone through similar things that I've gone through. This is the first time that you're living life. A lot of the times we have to pave new trails for people that come after us, and as scary as that is, that's kind of exciting. I want to feel the feelings together. Like, let's just sit down and talk about it.
Let's sit down and talk about it.
Let's do it.
Now, as you mentioned, you're Mexican American and your family's all from Mexico. Tell us a little bit more about them.
My mom was born in California, but they were both raised in Mexico. My mom had me when she was 17, and she was married by 18. My dad didn't tell me until later on in life that he was like, one of the reasons I didn't want to go to school anymore is because I couldn't concentrate because I was hungry all the time. He dropped out of school really, really young, and he started working to feed himself, and he was taken under the wing of this doctor in Mexico. But my dad actually ended up coming to America. Even though my dad experienced a really rough upbringing, he never took time to heal. Like, that's non-existent in the Latino community. You just keep moving on, you work hard, you don't look back. They just like keep pushing it off and working it off, or say there's this saying of échale ganas, to just keep going and try harder. When I would tell my dad, oh, I'm depressed, he'd be like, do you want to do some chores around the house? I could make you do something if you don't feel well. And I'm like, no, I just want to lay in bed. And to him, that would be like, oh, you're being lazy, this and that. But I wasn't lazy. I was struggling emotionally and mentally. And now I look back and I'm like, Why is anyone surprised that I was struggling with depression and anxiety when the foundation of our family is so unstable, so dysfunctional? It's obvious now, but it really takes research and time and effort to figure this out. No one teaches you, no one comes out with like guidelines of, hey, this is what to do when you're depressed.
I know that you are working really hard to be a cycle breaker, and you're doing an awesome job at that and working on a break of that generational cycles and trauma that has been passed down in your line, and that's a really important thing for your future.
Thank you. Just experiencing the trauma that I witnessed within my family and seeing my parents go through certain things and seeing patterns of behavior in my family and within myself as well, and struggling with depression and anxiety at a really young age. I became obsessed with trying to find answers of like, what was wrong with me? Do other people feel this way? Am I normal? And so as I began therapy, thankfully my mom was on it and she saw that I was struggling because I was losing a lot of weight and I had also an eating disorder. And honestly, if I hadn't had that eating disorder, it would have been so invisible. Depression and anxiety can be really invisible because that was like part of the comorbidity. She took me to the doctor and I started therapy. I went to a psychiatrist. I was taking medications. And so I wanted to know, like, what are these medications? What are they doing to me? And I also became obsessed with neuroscience and just learning about the brain. And I finally began to understand that there was nothing wrong with me. There was just something going on with my biological mechanisms and my environment that yielded me feeling hopeless and in despair. So yeah, I learned about dopamine and serotonin and how my SSRIs were helping me produce serotonin to make me have more of a stable mood, to experience pleasure. Not only do I love psychology, I also have experience with somebody very close to me ending their life over their poor mental health. And it's something that I felt really guilty about. I felt confused. I was shocked. And this was my uncle who was 9 months younger than me. I was born in February. He was born in November. Like, I was literally at the hospital when he was born. I have a photo of my dad, like, putting me in his little, like, bassinet at the
Yeah.
hospital, and I'm, like, crying. But yeah, we grew up together. We did everything together. I lived at my grandparents for a while. So this is someone who was very close to me. We were unfortunately a little distant when he passed away because he isolated himself. That's one of the first signs of somebody thinking of committing
Mm.
suicide. They isolate themselves from their family, and we had a very dysfunctional family. We still do. But I understood he wanted to like do his own thing, so I let him do his own thing. But like less than a year before he did what he did, like, we lived together. He was at my
Mm.
house. Because he didn't wanna live at home anymore. He became someone who I couldn't recognize anymore. Like, he blocked me. I would text him all the time, like, just saying, like, "Hey, I miss you. How are you? Like, I'm giving you your space, but just know that you can always come back." I even before we stopped talking or he stopped talking to us, like, I gave him the number of my therapist
Mhm.
at the time, and I feel like even that wasn't enough. I carried so much guilt about the fact that I didn't take him physically to a therapist. That's the reason why I'm starting this, because I want to encourage people to take care of their minds, to not give up on life, to realize that one of the worst things that you could do to your family and friends is take your own life.
Jump in there a little bit. I do want to just say that it is really important to talk about suicide and ask your loved ones about it. A lot of people think that mentioning suicide or bringing it up to other people is going to make somebody suicidal, and that is not the case, and that has been proven, and it is saving more lives by bringing it up in a serious manner to the people that you love. But also, at the end of the day, if somebody really wants to take their life, they're gonna take their life, and as much you can beg and plead as much as you want, they're not gonna change their mind if that's something they're really set on. So, it's can be really difficult to live with that guilt of knowing that you living with that regret, kind of hindsight is 2020, but truly know that if somebody really, really wants to kill themselves, they're going to.
Yeah, and all the signs were there. He started dressing really, like, fancy, and months of isolating himself, he came back, and a lot of times that happens, they come back to make because they've already made peace with what
Mhm.
they're planning on doing, and I think that's what happened, and unfortunately, like, I can't go back and change it. I wish as much as I wish I could, I can't, but what I can do is spread awareness of mental
Yeah.
health, especially for young men and young women that feel like they can't go to other people or feel trapped in their mind and feel alone. Like, n let's
Yeah.
start this conversation, let's be here to support each other.
I love that. And just to touch on that a little bit more, kind of what you were talking about with the idea that when somebody is suicidal and they've kind of made up their mind that they are making peace with that, a lot of times people do not recognize the signs, especially if their loved one is suddenly very happy, because a lot of people, they look at that like, "Oh, good, it's fine. They finally have found,
Like,
some
yeah,
sort of
healing.
treatment. They finally have found some happiness." And a lot of times, people that commit suicide have been depressed for a very long time. So if you're seeing your family finally happy, you're probably just going to be very excited that they're happy rather than immediately thinking about suicide. So I do urge everyone, if they are dealing with a suicidal family member, of course, seek out therapy, but also don't be afraid to look up those warning signs and kind of keep an eye out for those people in your life. On those sort of situations, because it is not something that is talked about very
Mhm.
often, and a lot of people wouldn't know about it unless they have dealt with suicide personally or in the mental health field in some sense of the way.
Yeah, and there's a big number of people that do and are affected by suicide, and it happens every couple of seconds.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Sobering statistic for me was noting about the risk of having a gun in the home and how much that impacts the suicide risk. So that is kind of my message that I would love to put out to
Girl.
people is be really cautious with purchasing guns. If you have a family member that is suicidal, that you are worried about having access to those means, please, if you have a gun in the home, there's plenty of programs with like police stations where you can drop off your gun for a limited amount of time. A lot of shooting ranges also do that, where you can go leave your gun at a safe spot, because a lot of suicides are also impulsive. So, of course, I'm not a trained trainer, but just sharing the information that I have learned.
While I was in college, I was going through a lot with my parents and just my family in general. Growing up, I experienced domestic violence, substance abuse, and a lot of abuse in the household. And as beautiful as some memories of my childhood were, once I got to college, I realized how much it was impacting my performance at school, my relationships, my mental health. And if it weren't for people like Hannah and our friend Madeline,
Yeah.
I don't think I would have survived school. It was really everything was so new. I was the first one in my family to graduate high school and to go to college,
Vice Jen.
literally, and I was the first one in my family to not have a child under 18. Like,
Yeah.
my grandma got married.
Cycle breaking.
I'm cycle breaking, but my grandma got married at 14. My mom had me at 17. So when I started college, this was something completely new to my DNA, to my bloodline, and it can be really confusing. And I know there are a lot of people out there that are experiencing this for the first time. So I just want to tell you that you're doing amazing, and especially to all the older sisters out there that have to take care of their siblings, because that was another thing during college. I had to take some time off to take care of my siblings, and there were a lot of times where I felt really lost. But these are just examples of how important it is to surround yourself with good people. That
Absolutely.
people, yeah, that recognize when you're hurt, that recognize when you need a leg up.
Literally, I probably would have come back home really quickly if it wasn't for the amazing people I met, like Emily and Madeline at college. They helped me through so much. And sometimes it's really helpful to have someone around that has dealt with similar feelings or situations, because it's really helpful that they can understand and kind of not take anything personally if people are isolating or anything like that. But I am a firm believer that friendships save lives. They are so important to
For
our
sure.
social life, our well-being overall.
I haven't really asked you this, but were there situations in college where you felt alone? And
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think this comes just like from homesickness in general. Like, even if you have a lot of new support, it feels really, especially when you're only 18 years old, to go from
yeah,
one entire life to a whole different life. And even though it was really great, and I'm really glad to have had you guys around, and it really kind of made my college experience amazing. But also, yeah, I definitely felt really alone. I just being away from my family across the country, that's really it was really hard, and I definitely struggled with it for a while, but I'm glad that I pushed through the homesickness. And apparently that's really common. That, like, what my dad said when I first went away to college was, he said, like, no matter what, give it a year. And
yes.
like, when I got, like, literally right around the first semester, I was like, I want to transfer. And that's exactly what he said too, was give it a year. And I finally saw what he meant by give it a year, because it really, I was like very excited to go back that next year. And I remember the stark difference of like texting everyone, like, okay, I'm in, like, it's time, like, we're all gonna hang out, like, for that year, versus the first year moving in by myself,
Like,
like my
what the
family, like, not knowing a single soul, like, oh my gosh, I hope this Emily chick is cool.
yeah,
And
like
luckily she was, spoiler alert.
it's because we
um
had a lot of things in common.
we did.
Like, we
And
loved Hannah Montana, Bob Saget, SpongeBob.
we just became best friends right away.
So
Like,
easily.
a lot
But
of
we're
people,
also people pleasers.
we are, but a lot of people
Big people
asked us if we
pleasers.
knew each other before. They're like, "Oh, like,
We're
you guys,
cousins.
like, did you guys know each other?" We're like,
We're
"No,
Irish
we just
cousins.
met today." But
Literally.
that's just being able to vibe with somebody, and we haven't stopped vibing since,
Literally.
and hopefully we never will.
Never. You'll
Um,
never get rid of me.
Never, ever, ever. Oh, and in college, one thing that Emily and I had a lot in common was majoring in psychology.
Yes.
Um,
Also, shout out to Dr.
Shout
Carter.
out to Dr.
He was a
Carter.
great
We both took
intro
his
to psych.
class. I'm pretty sure I used your book, so I didn't have to buy
Yeah,
another.
I still have it. He wrote it.
He wrote it.
But he's an icon, and he
He's
made
great.
me, I guess you as well, but he made me fall in love with psychology.
Oh,
I was already in
absolutely.
love with it, but even then, it was so exciting.
So exciting. I loved it. And it was great to get to learn about it together and see the different ways in which we're both working in that field in different. And of course, as Emily, I think Emily mentioned, you also majored in film, right? It was a double.
So I majored in psychology and minored in film.
Minored in
Yeah.
film. She just made it a major part of her life, so I just thought it was a major. Um,
Good one. Girl, I wanted to be a psychiatrist, and then I went through what was it? Chemistry 121, or I forgot what it was.
Oh, we don't bring up drugs and behavior to
But
me.
oh my god,
'Cause, ugh.
psychobio. I did love psychobio. I miss the day that they had the brain out. Like, they
I
brought a
was
live human, not a live human brain,
I
but
was
it
too
was
scared to hold it.
preserved. I wish
I
I
regret
could've.
it. I wish if I was presented with the opportunity again, I would hold the
I
brain.
was about to
So if you're
say,
presented with a legal, ethical opportunity to hold a brain, give
or
it a
like,
whirl, even if you're scared. That's kind
if
of
our
just
professors are watching this on Facebook or something, if you want to invite us to the day that you have the brain
bring us
there in the
back.
class, like,
I'll
I'll
fly
be
in.
there, and I'll be a fly on the wall. Like, don't you worry about it.
Let me hang out with the brain.
I just want to see your brain again.
Putting in a formal request.
Could I get the brain?
So, Emily, there are
Yes.
a lot of podcasts in this world. Tell us.
Too many. I'm sorry,
Well,
you
there's
guys.
gotta be one more.
I'm adding to
Because this
it.
one's really good. Dysfunctional with Emily Diaz.
There was a point in my life where I was like, God, why me? Like, why am I going through this? Me. And it wasn't until I realized, like, girl, you are not the only one. There are so many people struggling with the same thing at the same time. And as unfortunate as that is, it gave me hope to reach out to other people and connect with other people. But there, one thing you should know about me is that I literally hate leaving the house. I hate, not that I hate it, it's very uncomfortable to socialize. This is very surprising to a lot of people, actually. They don't realize that. They're like, "Really? You're, like, so good." I'm good at
Well, because you
masking.
push yourself to still do it even when you're not comfortable, I
Yeah,
think is
I've
part of it.
I've I've also, like, learned to survive masking. I've
Yeah.
learned to be perceived in a way where I'm digestible to other people, and as I've grown up, I'm like, "No, I'm gonna be who I am, and if people don't like that, then that's okay with me," and
Be you, girl.
yeah, but it's, like, one of my worst fears to be misunderstood and ironically also to be perceived, so me doing this is a huge, like, exposure therapy exercise in itself. I've never really gone online to talk about my issues. I talk about them to my friends and my family, and I'm an open book, and I just want other people to know that whatever you're going through right now, keep fucking going, like, the world is better because you are in it. Do not give up. It always
Yeah.
gets better, and whatever you're going through is temporary. Keep fighting those dark thoughts. Keep fighting the people that bring you down. Keep fighting for your life. It's worth it at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
and we want you here.
Absolutely. What Emily said it beautifully.
Thank you.
Beautifully. I love that. It's a great message.
So we're gonna play Pick Your Brain, where we're gonna draw a random question and one of us is gonna answer it, okay? Okay, it's time to pick your brain. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Who's the coolest person you've ever met?
Ooh, okay. So up until recently, I actually did not have an answer for this. However, I must say that on my recent honeymoon, one of our stops was Italy, and all I wanted to do when we went to Italy was see the Pope. I just wanted to get a little glimpse of him. I was raised
Shout out
Catholic,
Poplio.
so shout
Shout
out
out
Pope Leo.
Southside.
I was raised Catholic. That was like always a big deal growing up. So I really wanted to see the Pope if I was going to be in Italy. And girl, not only did I get to see him, I got to meet him up close. I got a own personal
Literally,
blessing.
she got a
It
blessing.
was crazy to say the least. So
Amazing.
shout out to Pope Leo. Thank you for the
I was
blessing.
freaking out as a Catholic, I grew up Catholic as well. I was telling
I
everyone.
immediately texted Emily. I was like, you'll never believe
She sent me the
it.
video. I was like, I'm dying. Like, I will fangirl about Pope Leo. Like, he's just amazing.
He
We
was
love.
amazing. So that was very cool. So that was definitely the coolest person I have ever met.
We love.
Oh my gosh.
You can't beat the Pope. Can't
Le-
beat it.
Truly. So like can't really top that one.
All right.
Time for a question for you. Ooh, this is a fun one. Where did you get your name from?
Okay, so my name is Emily Guadalupe, and Emily comes from Emily, but my grandma's name on my dad's side is Emilia. So that's just the English version. And then Guadalupe comes from my mom's just love for La Virgen de Guadalupe, because when I was in her belly, she was basically bleeding and thought she was going to miscarry, but she prayed to La Virgen de Guadalupe that if I was born healthy, she would name me after her and then take me to La Basilica de Guadalupe in Mexico City when I was born, which she did. And I'm here and healthy, and my name is Emily Guadalupe.
Love it.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. What's the favorite part of your job?
Ooh. I think one of my favorite parts is obviously getting to see the progress with people, and see starting off really in a tough spot and getting to be able to teach people on how to effectively manage their emotions and move forward with a lot of stuff. And I also get to do a lot of work with foster care. So I love to get to work specifically with foster kids. I think that they are a wonderful, my favorite population to work with. So
And we'll have a whole other episode about that because I feel like it's really important to talk about the foster system right now, especially in a time where ICE is taking families and moms and children. But yeah, we'll go into that in another episode.
For sure.
Yes.
All right. Let's see what yours is going to be.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, what is your go-to fun fact?
My go-to fun fact is that I have a random blonde streak in the middle of my head.
Oh,
and it's
I love
just
it.
natural. It's somewhere around here. And I think it comes from my grandma on my dad's side.
It's like a birthmark in your hair.
Yeah, like Anna. Or no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of when I first saw the Frozen movie, was your little birthmark.
It's me.
Okay, we're running short on time, so I'm going to ask you the last one.
Okay.
What is the best compliment you've ever gotten?
Oh, easy. One time I was a stand-in in a movie in Atlanta, and Tyra Banks told me that I looked pretty on camera. I was like,
you basically won America's Next Top
I was basically the final contestant. It was amazing.
Everyone else, pack it up.
Pack it up. All right. Well, Hannah, thank you so much for joining me and for introducing the world, or helping me introduce myself to the world.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope to come back soon. And congrats on your first episode.
Love you. Okay, guys.
This has been Dysfunctional.
I just had a nip slip a little bit. Sorry, guys. This is not that kind of show.